Hey YouTube, just going to show you my new project that I just picked up. Here it is here, all in bits. Whoa. Yeah, look at it. Engine, all in bits. I've sort of had a brief bit of a look at it, but as I get it out of the trailer, I'll have a look at each bit. There's the front end. Everything's supposedly there. Now there's the one of the radiators and stuff. Yeah, the dude, it was apparently running when he pulled it apart, but yeah, pulled it apart wanting to put a new piston. I think he was going to do the piston and rings and maybe a rebore or something rather, because it done the hours, you know. But yeah, apparently pulled it apart and never got round to it. That was like 5-6 years ago or something. So yeah, I bought it for a bargain. Yeah, I'll show you once I get it all off. Right, here it all is, out of the trailer. There's the front end there. She's looking pretty sorry. Not too bad. Apparently this bike did most of its life. It's lived on the beach, so it's done mostly off-road. The mudguards of it had it. But yeah, everything's there. These new grips and stuff, and don't know what this was for. Oh, it's got an aftermarket fan on the radiator. Must be manual. Shabby looking old mirror on there. Apparently the speedo and all that still worked, so they're probably original Ks. All the back brakes on there, and there's the rear shock, the rear link. It's got a big gun exhaust. That's pretty sweet. It probably needs repacking and that, but mate, they're worth quite a bit. Nice swing arm. It's got a box of new bits. It's got all the new bearings and seal kit for the swing arm and the shock and that. And here's the back subframe with the plastics on it, and that's all pretty sweet. Nothing's broken. Side covers, seats. Got aftermarket seat cover. Needs 2 new indicators. I'll probably take them off though. It was last registered in 2010, see? So it's probably lapsed. So it probably needs re-register. I'll probably just use it as a dirt bike maybe, I don't know. I said that about the last one though, eh? Yeah, all the clutch and everything looks good. Yeah, all the crankcases and all that seem pretty good. There's a couple of bits that are broken off the crankcase. I sort of had a bit of a look. I can't find it. Oh, that bit there, there's a little bit there. Sort of broken off, but it's not terminal. There's the old carby and everything in there. All the engine mounts, the stator and everything's in there. That all seems pretty good. I looked over the gearbox. That all seems really good. Big end seems good. I sort of measured, I slipped a feeler gauge in there when I went out and had a look, and yeah, bearing seems good. Gearbox, there's hardly any wear in it. The one thing I did see was that radiator there. See, she's a bit bent. It's had a bit of a whack. And that back shock, there's a lot of oil down there. It looks like it must be leaking. It's got an aftermarket spring on it. An e-back one. Yeah, I'll probably have to get that rebuilt, that's probably the most expensive thing. Yeah, it's probably the most expensive part, rebuilding the suspension. But yeah, he's put an aftermarket fan on it, but it's seized. Well, it's pretty had it. Look at all the sand on it though, eh? But the radiators, that radiator's in good nick. Head and everything, all the cam seems sweet. Doesn't seem to have any, you know, damage to it or anything like that. Seems all good. And there's a couple of marks there. Yeah, might have to give that a bit of a grind. Barrel and piston apparently had a new piston in it. Not that long ago, but why did he pull it apart? Don't know. Gonna have to investigate that. I can't see any major damage to the engine, so it can't be anything too major. There's a box of new bits here. Here, to my surprise, I was pretty rapt about this. I was having a look through it because I hadn't even looked in this box. There's a new tank plastic there, new air filter, but looky here. Oh, this is all the rebuild kit for the back swing arm and lower shock. Yeah, they were all in there, brand new, but look at here. A Mikuni flat slide. Genuine article. It looks in good nick too, man, eh? That must be for the 650. Mate, that'll be going on pro. Mikuni flat slide. Yeah, so happy about that. Back wheel, oh, that's another thing I noticed too. That bearing in there, yeah, well it's, the outer race bearing is still in there. So it's obviously shattered or fallen to bits, and he's left it at that. Yeah, he said to me I probably need a new back wheel, but nah, I'll fix that. Yeah, awesome. Right, so here we go. I've been through it all. I've been cleaning it all up. Yeah, there's a few things I've found. Here's the engine in here. Oh, first things first is, yeah, the back swing arm. How they got it off is, that's why it's got all the new bearings and stuff, you see, for it. How they must have got it off was they must have had to cut through the axle. It's pretty common, especially with beach bikes. Just rusts up and seizes in there. So they had to cut the axle out, and those bearings in there, I'm going to have to try and get out. You have a look. They're pretty headed, eh? But I'll get them out. Yeah, I might have to just try and machine it up a bit nicer in there, so that the new bearings fit in nicely. But that's another mission anyway. But the engine, I've got it all up here. Oh, lost the side cover off my KTM. Gutted about that. Went for a hoon the other day, gone. Yeah, wasn't very happy about that. But hey, I'll get another one. Yeah, but here's the engine. Sorry about the light, it's not very good. So what I've found, I've just been putting it back together. Because, yeah, well, what I've found is they have actually, has been reconditioned. This is hence why the big end bearing, I measured it up and it's so good. It's like brand new. And that's the thing, it is brand new. They've put a Pro X kit in it. Big end, conrod, piston rings. I tried to get some other rings for the piston. Pro X, you can only get the piston and rings as a kit, so that sort of ruins that a bit. So what I've decided to do anyway is I'm just putting the oil pump all back together here. But yeah, what someone's done, and this is pretty bad mechanic, whoever must have been working on it, but I've been looking at the piston and that, and if you check that out, you can see on there, someone's ground that out, because obviously they've got the wrong piston kit for it. This is actually a XR600 or XL650 piston. They're usually quite flat top, see? And they've obviously had a problem. The valves have come in contact with the piston. Not real hard. They've ground that out to try and compensate for it. Rough, mate, eh? See, it's a Pro X piston in there. See, it's written down there, Pro X, yeah, pretty cheap, sort of nasty. But it's not even XR650R piston, because I've looked at plenty of YouTube videos and that, and they actually, the XR650R actually has the cutouts for the valves, obviously. So someone hasn't done their research and they've just ordered the wrong parts or something, and they've put it all back together after spending that money on it. And the valves have contacted the piston. But mate, I've cleaned up all the valves and had a look in there, and there doesn't seem to be any damage to the valves whatsoever, which is unbelievable. There's no light coming through the ports. I've still got to I've still got to pull them out and probably do valve guide seals anyway, and check the valves, the springs, make sure they've put the right ones in, because another thing I found out is the cam that's in it is actually like a race cam that someone's ground up for it. You can see they've longer duration, definitely a higher lift. You can see they've added on in there, and they machined it. Yeah, so there's no decompression on it, so it's just going to be a bitch to kick. Yeah. Just had a rainstorm, you can't hear anything in here, it's like tin roof and that, you know. Yeah, so what I was saying anyway, I just put the oil pump back together. If you didn't know, I'd pack it full of petroleum jelly or a bit of light grease, and it just helps it suck up the oil. But yeah, it's got like a new clutch in it and that. But anyway, what I was saying is, what I'm going to do with this piston is I'm going to use it again. It's hardly been used, it's like brand new. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind them out properly. We'll try and do a better job anyway. Just get a bit more clearance in there, and I'm going to use the same set of rings because they're pretty much. The thing is this bike, the motor, it needs a rebuild, really. It needs a new crank, new big end, new piston. Yeah, but at the moment it's just, I'm only using it as a beach bike, so I'm just going to ride it. I'm going to put it back together. Another thing it's got is, see, it's got an adjustable, the cam must be that hot. Someone's even ground the cam out, you got to dial the cam in. So that's interesting. It must be a stage 3. That's what I'm thinking, but yeah, I'll just put it in the same marks that it was before. I'm sure someone's dialed it. Well, you wouldn't know with this mechanic. Barrel, your cast iron barrel has been put in it, it's mint. I'll just hone that, give it a hone, and yeah, new valve seals, I'll pull them out. I've got to make sure that they've put the right kit in it, because if you don't put the right valve springs either, they can bind up, because you haven't got enough lift in them, you know. If it's a real high lift cam that they've put in it, if there's not enough room there, I've had one do it before, they just blow the lobes off the cam, so we don't really want that. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna whack it together and just ride it pretty much. See how long it goes. If it gets real noisy, I'll eventually buy a rebuild kit for it and whack it in there, and yeah, be good to go. Yeah, I just wanted to show you something else. This is the wrist pin out of it, the gudgeon pin. Look at that. So this is yeah, it's probably not a good sign at all, because you see it's been rubbing on that one side and it's picked up. You know what that means? Well, some people would know what it means. I'm thinking they've run it after it's picked up, and mate, that, yeah, see, you can even see it in there. Trying to get this to focus. Look at that there. I mean, that is, I'm thinking a bent conrod as well. Mate, what could have happened is, it's quite common when people sort of yeah, don't really know what they're doing, they start cutting corners, and that is, sometimes their crankshaft, and it goes into the ball race, and the ball race, it's almost like a press fit onto the crankshaft and into the case. So you sort of got to chuck your bearing in the freezer or whatever. You either got to chuck your bearing in the freezer or chuck your case in the oven or something like that, and because otherwise, if you try and hit that crank into the bearing with a mallet, even a rubber mallet or anything, it can, what they call, scissor the crank, which means it slips on that big end pinion and goes out of whack. And if that happens, well, this is the sort of thing that happens. That's either bent conrod or scissored crank. Yeah, not good. Hey, this is where we're at. Thought I'd show you. Yeah, I used the Dremel and machined those out. Check it out. I've machined that out, so hopefully the valves won't even come close now. He gave it a good go. See how deep they are. It's a real high lift cam, eh? And when you dial it in, the valves actually, the overlap, they come so close to the piston, man. It's pretty scary. I can't believe they've used it and didn't check it and take precautions, yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's nearly all together, man. Sweet as. Nice motor, really nice motor to work on. You can see how they've come up so far since the 600. I mean, the 600 is quite a good motor, but yeah, the 650 is a different package. I've been going over the head, giving the valves a bit of a lap. They've actually lapped up really good. I just checked them because when I was looking at it, the seat looked a wee bit pitted, had a few bits of pitting in it, and so I thought I'd just give it a wee bit of a lap just to clean it up, and mate, it's come up real nice. But see, look at the port. Someone's really smoothed them out, eh? Even looks like those valve seats are new, maybe. But yeah, they've given it a real good look in there. As I said, this guy, he bought it off a guy that used to race at Motard. So, maybe he did a bit of, trying to get a bit of horsepower out of it or something, eh? Sweet as. It'll probably go like stink, I don't know. We'll see. How's everyone going? Just charging up the battery. Did a full service on the KTM yesterday. It's going mean. New filters, new oil, new coolant. Yeah, new plug, mate. It's going good. XR650, look, all done. Motor's all back together. I just put the head cover on this morning, actually. Yeah, so just about to put that back in the bike, back in the frame. Here's the frame here. Just put all new steering head bearings on there. Up in here, all new bearings in there. Man, what a mission there! Woo! Hardest ones I've done. It's just because they don't give you enough clearance underneath the wee shell, the bearing shell, to get your pin punch in there. Oh man, you gotta have real sharp pin punches, brand new ones, and to get them out, they were all rusted up, seized, had it, and yeah, so there's all new ones in there. Next, I've got to do the swing arm. I'm putting the swing arm in. I've got all new bearings for that. All the needle rollers, I've just had to clean up all in here, and someone's done a bit of a butcher job on there, trying to see bad maintenance, because it was all seized in there. So yeah, I had to put a new one of these on this side. This is your system that these XRs, these later XRs have got. Mate, what a mission. If anyone's had any experience with these, it's got a locking mechanism in there where I guess it's to tighten up, and because it's part of the engine mount, so I guess you tighten the hell out of that when you got your swing arm in and the motor in. You tighten that up because it's to like 120 foot-pounds or something, so it's pretty tight, and then you tighten up that the locking nut, you tighten that up around it, and yeah, that's how you do it. You need special tools in that, but I haven't got the special tools, but I'll make up a tool or something. Yeah, but mate, they're strange idea, but I guess it's part of the engine mount, you see. So you got to tighten that right up, and yeah, tighten up the engine in there, and that's the whole back mount pretty much. Yeah, different sort of setup, but I guess it's what they've found that works the best. Yeah, it's all built pretty solid, eh? These later model XRs, man, it's flipping solid. But yeah, joy. I'll show you what it looks like. Just having a sit down. There you go. That's my that's the KTM EXC back wheel. yeah, the axle and all that's the same diameter, but yeah, I might just use that, eh? Saves hassling around fixing the other wheel. I'll fix the other wheel anyway, but that fits straight on there. I just swap the spacer on the brake side, and yeah, new chain and shit, but yeah, all brand new. See, there's the new pivot bolt, all brand new linkage bearings and everything in there now, new swing arm bearings, new top shock bearings, yeah, all new. That side, look, see new seals and that in there. Pro man, should last a bit longer. New steering bearings, yeah, they're all done, looking good. Engine's all bolted up. Actually goes in pretty good, pretty easy. Yeah, can't get over how solid the bloody thing is. Yeah, man, they didn't spare expense when they built these things. Gone are those days, I suppose, though. Right, here's the update. Here's it all together. Well, pretty much. I've got the shrouds to go on. I actually need to replace the front wheel bearings now because they're clunking and making all sorts of noise. But yeah, I've got a set of those. They came with the bike as well. All these bearings and everything came with the bike. So happy, man. Yeah, steering's all mint. I'm gonna leave the headlight off. All the wiring I re-wrapped because all the wrapping was coming off it, and it's actually been, someone's wired it up so it's pretty much hot wired, so you can unplug everything, like all the hand piece with all your switches and your headlight, all that's been taken off, and it's running like a hot wire straight to the ignition, so you don't need any key. You only this kill switch here, just like a dirt bike, it's all you've got. And if you plug all the lights and everything back in, they all work. So that's pretty cool. Someone's spent a bit of time and done that. But I just re-wrapped all the wires, and all the tail light wire and everything's all under the seat, hidden away. Back shock's not leaking. It's yeah, back shock's working real good. It's all tuned and everything. I googled it, and the Race Tech there, yeah, Race Tech, they're actually a New Zealand based suspension tuning company who make all their own valving and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, quite high, quite high end stuff. So that back shock, maybe the front forks too, have all been doctored, mucked with. But yeah, but anyway, I just got it in this sort of riding situation so I could try and get it going. Made sure I had a brake, made sure the kill switch worked, everything like that. It's got all the flat slide on it, and I've made sure that's all working. Yeah, they're a bit different. I haven't really had much to do with them. The tuning and all that of them is a wee bit different. They've got an accelerator pump and all that, and so I'm still finding out about that. I've put all my KTM spare stuff, like the throttle, all the cables, they all came off a carby that I bought. What else can I say? Yeah, well, yeah, filled it up with coolant and all that, and mate, I tell you what, you can't kick it. I mean, you can kick it, but at the moment it's not running the best, and we tow started it down the road, and my god, the compression, you had to have in top gear, even on the seal, because it's just skidding, man. It's just ripped the knobbles off the tyre. Just skids down the road. But in top gear it's not so bad. We just towed it behind the car and got it going, and at the moment I've just got the timing, the cam timing all just set on the factory marks, and my god, aggressive, far out, man. I tell you what, must be blooming, yeah, it must be churning a good high 60 horsepower. That's right. Yeah, go, but mate, it wouldn't idle, and it was running like a bag of shit. It would only run good on power, And so yeah, it's pretty much unrideable, real hard to start. So that's on the factory marks. So I reckon that's where they had it when they bent the valves. They might have had it on the factory marks, or when the valves came in contact with the piston. Because man, it is so lumpy. Idling, and that'll idle at like 1500. Pop, 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 real aggressive like. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the top of the head back off, and I'm going to use where they've slotted those holes on the cam sprocket. I'm going to dial it back a bit. I think it retards the cam or advances the cam, one or the other anyway, and see if it runs a bit more lenient, because man, yeah, she's pretty aggressive to ride like that. Yeah, let you know.